בשם השם נעשה ונצליח. שיעור תורה, ברוכים הבאים, שבוע טוב, שבוע מבורך. We're starting off the week, Baruch Hashem, on our Sunday program here in Shaarei Tzion in Sunny Isles, Florida. For all of the Floridians that keep getting surprised when they find out that I do a shiurim in Florida, we actually do it 3 times a week, Baruch Hashem. So we're here in Shaarei Tzion on Sundays and Wednesdays, and then Tuesdays we're in Aventura. Locations sometimes change, but generally they do not. Be'ezrat Hashem, today's shiur will be for a refuah shlema for Avi Mori David Ben Esriya, for my dear mother Doris Bajora, my Rabbanit Levana Bat Sarah, Sarah Bat Levana, Ovadia Ben Levana, and Yosef Ben Levana. Also Rav Ephraim Ben Shulamit, Rabbanit Sarah Bat Anat, Dvora Bat Mercedes, Elisheva Chaya Bat Sarah, Esther Bat Tzipora. Eliyahu Ben Freda is a Ilu Nishmat, or is it Ilu? And also Ilu Nishmat Eliyahu Ben Freda. So today's shiur is on a very interesting topic. B'siyata Dishmaya, we will say it as we learned it from Rabbi Ephraim. God bless him and all of his Torah, Be'ezrat Hashem, and his family. And hopefully shed some light on some interesting things. I know that people like to talk about Mashiach. And Joshua. Maybe Joshua's a Mashiach. Maybe Joshua's a Mashiach. Tzaddik. I love Joshua. Joshua's the best. Surprised me, Joshua. I didn't see you here 2 minutes ago. See, you made me happy. With these people, nothing. Don't tell nobody. So anyway, people love to talk about Mashiach. I remember, Baruch Hashem, when we first started recognizing HaKadosh Baruch Hu, one of my personal favorite topics was to talk about Mashiach, the end of days, the destruction, and easily assuming I'm going to be part of the saved. You know, all of us are like assuming, no, I'm for sure being saved. Why? I'm keeping Shabbat now. I didn't even know what Boer was. But I'm keeping Shabbat. I'm just not driving. I didn't know when that's nothing, by the way. But I thought I was for sure going to be saved. And unfortunately, many of us think we're going to be saved. Be'ezrat Hashem, we will be. Be'ezrat Hashem, many more will be. But, Rabotai Yekarim, I can promise you, it's not going to be easy. And the reason why is because in order to be saved by Mashiach, we have to know a few things about Torah, a few things about Mashiach himself and what's going to happen, what it's going to take to be saved at the time of Mashiach. And one of the interesting things that I haven't heard from anybody is the details of Eliyahu HaNavi. Because in several places in the Torah, the prophets tell us that the last prophet, Malachi, it's also by some of the other prophets, where it's talks about that 3 days before Mashiach comes, Eliyahu HaNavi is going to come. Eliyahu HaNavi is going to come, and he's going to tell us Mashiach's coming. And until now, that's generally what we've taught. That 3 days before Mashiach comes, Eliyahu HaNavi is going to come. Now, the good news is that that's still valid, that's still true, that's still the pshat. But if you look at some of the Chachamim, including in them the Rambam, you will see that there is a little bit more commentary on that particular verse that talks about Eliyahu HaNavi coming before Mashiach. Now, we're going to start off with a Gemara that is almost like a prophecy, if you will, even though there was a Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was not a prophet. He, of course, surely had Ruach HaKodesh and had extraordinary Kedusha that was second to none. But at the same token, we learned from Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai in the Gemara, in the Zohar, and many other Sfarim, that some of the things that he said might as well be a prophecy. Might as well be a prophecy, because it's clear as day. But one of the things that I never knew really was a prophecy relevant to this shul until Sani turned on the camera. Fresh chidush for you. So, Gemara Masechet Sanhedrin, page 97b, says the following. In the name of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says to his son, ראיתי בני עלייה ואין מועטין. אם 1,000 הם, אני ובני מהם. אם 100 הם, אני ובני מהם. אם 2 הם, אני ובניהם. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says, I have seen the people of the highest level, biggest tzaddikim in the world, and they are few. If they are 1,000, I and my son are among them. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is already telling you, if there's 1,000 tzaddikim in the entire world, me and my son for sure are one of them. Okay, Baruch Hashem. If they are 100, I and my son are among them. He says, if there's 2 tzaddikim bnei aliyah, there's bnei aliyah, there's 100 of them in the entire world, me and my son are among them as well. Meaning we're 2% of the people in the world. And if they are only 2, there's only 2 bnei aliyah in the world, then myself and my son are them. So now you ask yourself a question. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, what does he hate? He hates a few things. One of the things he hates arrogance. So can you, in your wildest imagination, say that the Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the Baal HaZohar, the Tana Kadosh that's in the Torah, that's in the Gemara, all over the place, telling us all types of chidushim, chas v'shalom, we could even think in our wildest dreams that he has arrogance? That he says if there's only 2 bnei aliyah in the entire world, we're them? You can't say that. So what does it mean? B'ezrat Hashem will answer that at the end of the shiur. Now, the topic of mysticism and generally discussing the Zohar, Kabbalah, and all types of mystical teachings, if you've noticed and you've been around the religious world for some time, or even if you've just joined in the last couple of years, you notice that if you type the word Zohar or Kabbalah, you're going to get a lot more hits than if you type the word Chumash, or Parasha, or Musar. A lot more. Why? Because Kabbalah and Zohar and mysticism, even the Goyim, the heretics, the biggest Reshaim in the world, they also want to teach it. They don't even know Halachot Shabbat. They don't even know what the 10 Commandments are by heart. But they say, no, the most mystical things in the Torah, we're teaching it too. You have a place called Kabbalah Center. Should be called the Kfirah Center. They teach Kabbalah La'am. What's Kabbalah La'am? Kabbalah to the nations. Meaning anyone can learn Kabbalah. The funny thing is, Kabbalah is something that's secret. That's what it means. Secret from hand to hand. Teacher to a student. 1-to-1. That's what Kabbalah is coming for. You got a Kabbalah from one teacher directly to the student, not one teacher to a class of 1,000 people. There's even a class specifically discusses there's certain things you only teach to a few people, there's only things you don't teach at all. Kabbalah is one of those things, it's 1-to-1. That's what it means, Kabbalah. So to say Kabbalah la'am, Kabbalah to the nations, is an oxymoron. How are you going to teach Kabbalah to the public? How? It's not supposed to be taught. Now, in Tikunei Zohar, page 114a, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai tells us when these hidden teachings will be uncovered, many men will gather to learn them and deal with them. So Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai himself is saying, this teachings, this entire Zohar, this Kabbalah, this mystical stuff, the Midrashim, all these different things, it's going to be hidden for many, many years. It was written over 2,000 years ago, but only discovered in the last few hundred years. Not something that we've had for the last couple thousand years. The Rambam wrote that if he knew about the Zohar at the time that he was writing Mishneh Torah, certain things would be different. Meaning it was only discovered in the last 1,000 years, less than 1,000 years. It was hidden from the world for over 1,500 years. And Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is telling you it's going to be hidden, but once it's uncovered, many people are going to want to deal with it. Now, there are 4 parts to the Torah, as far as 4 classifications, which is the word, spells out the word pardes. Pardes is where the Americans got the word paradise, by the way. But Pardes stands for 4 words, Pshat, Remez, Drash, and Sod. The Pshat is the surface meaning. You read the verse, Vayomer Hashem el Moshe. Hashem spoke to Moshe. Okay, that's what we understand. Hashem spoke to Moshe. Literal meaning. We understand this thing. Pshat. Remez is like the hints, the deeper meaning, the allegory, what you understand from it through looking at different places and so on. If you saw somebody come into a room and he's making footprints with mud, you would understand that it's raining outside. You'd understand it's raining outside. Why? Because he probably stepped in some puddle, or the sand outside is wet. Therefore, it's either raining right now, or it was raining recently. And therefore, that's the reason why he has mud on his feet. So the allegory, the deeper meanings, the hints, all of the different things that you're going to get from the Torah, that's the remez. Drash means the midrashim. But also different rules within the Torah. There are certain rules the Gemara tells us that were put together. If there is a vav in the beginning of the word, that means something. If there isn't a vav, that means something else. If there's the word et, in a certain place when it's really not necessary, which means and, kabed et avicha ve'et imecha, honor your father and your mother. Why doesn't it say honor your parents? Kabed et orecha, or kabed et avicha ve'imecha. Why say et twice? Chamim say the extra et means that also honor your brother, your older brother. Anytime there's the word et extra there, that's a additional meaning. So when it says V'yira et Hashem, when you fear God, but it also has the word et. So one of the Chachamim was confused. What does it mean et? Who else should you fear other than Hashem? Rabbi Akiva came and said, you have to fear your rabbi too. Fear your rabbi like you fear God. That's what the word et stands for in that particular aspect. So that's the Midrashim, but also the commentaries, how it talks about Akedat Yitzchak, and it says, okay, Avraham Avinu nearly cut off his throat, but then if you go into some of the Midrashim, it actually says that he did cut his throat, and Hashem took Yitzchak Avinu to Gan Eden, healed him himself, replaced his neshama he had a feminine neshama, put a masculine neshama, all types of really, really interesting teachings. Point being is that there's other things beyond the pshat, beyond the basic meanings of the Torah, beyond the things that you could even understand yourself. For example, all of the superhero movies that have made billions and billions of dollars in the world today, the X-Men, all these people, all of them, with no exception, every single one of them that's famous, not the successful ones, not the Freirim, successful ones, Incredible Hulk, all these people, you see them in Midrashim in the Torah. You see them in Midrashim in the Torah. Some people are amazed by the character, the phoenix, the bird that never dies. That's in the Torah. It's a real bird. There's one bird like that. One bird like that, that's in a Parashat Noach. That's the only thing that didn't sin. That and the fish. And Hashem blessed this bird, this phoenix bird, because you didn't sin, you're never going to die. Every 1,000 years it dies, and then the ashes grow back and it relives. It's a special bird. So this phoenix is not an invention of X-Men. It's not an invention of the Goyim. It's an invention of the Torah. It's HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Same thing, Incredible Hulk. Incredible Hulk, you look at Midrash Me'am Loez, Midrash Rabbah, the wars of the tribes. You look at Yehuda. Yehuda was very powerful, would roar, would beat up people, break buildings just with his roar, and so on and so forth. You see that the tribes were powerful people. Powerful beyond our imagination. Point being, Rabotai, is that we see that the Midrashim have many, many interesting things. Sometimes Midrashim conflict with each other. For example, last week we had one of our new Torah tunes, the cartoons we've been publishing for each Parashat Shavua, and it talked about the very famous Midrash of how Avraham Avinu saw that his father was selling idols in a store, and he put Avraham as a little boy to run the store while he's doing other things. And Avraham detested these idols and decided to break all of them. A woman came and wanted to give food to one of the idols. Avraham said, "Why are you feeding one of these idols?" He says, "I want him to protect me." He says, "You're an old lady. You're an old lady. This idol, my father made him yesterday. He's going to protect you." And then he decided to take this food and destroy all of the idols. Actually, it was an old man. Long story short, he was a little boy. But then the same Midrash Rabbah says there's also an opinion that really Avraham was 47 years old. Not 3, 4, 5, 6 years old. 47. Now, if there's a conflict between Chachamim and a Midrash, you can pick a side, no problem. Why? Because it doesn't affect the halacha. It doesn't affect whether you're going to drive on Shabbat or not drive on Shabbat. It's not going to affect whether you eat kosher or don't eat kosher. We don't learn halacha from them. So sometimes there's a conflict between the Midrashim. Sometimes the Midrashim look like they're conflicting, but they really don't. You just don't understand them. The point being is that Midrash is one of the foundations of the Torah. And then there's the last part, which is Sod. Sod is the secret part of the Torah, the mystical stuff. The stuff that you have to be a very serious Talmid Chacham to not only learn it, but also to know how to use it. There are certain secretive things that the average person can do, but there are certain secret things that the average person should not do. Now, the Gemara in Masechet Chagiga says that there are two major subjects when it comes to mysticism that one has to be very careful with. Maaseh Merkava and Maaseh Bereshit. Maaseh Merkava is like theology and the heavenly secrets. What's going on in Shamayim? Don't delve into that too much at all. It's dangerous, even if you're Talmid Chacham. Maaseh Bereshit, the secrets of creation and nature, the secrets of nature, what the Rambam calls the metaphysical. Now, the Gemara in Masechet Chagiga says, don't teach the issues of morality to just 3 people. The details of what happens between a man and a woman, shouldn't teach it to 3 people. Why? Because one of them is going to lose attention, and then you're going to focus on one student, and then the 2 of them are going to start thinking garbage in their head. So the real details of what happens between a man and a woman, don't teach it to 3 people. Also, don't teach Maaseh Bereshit to 2 people, one-on-one. But Maaseh Merkava, don't even teach it to 1. Meaning, if he doesn't know it on his own, don't teach it. He has to be at a very, very special level to know Maaseh Merkava. Now, the Gemara continues in Masechet Chagiga, page 15, says that 4 of the sages went into the Pardes. 4 of them went into the Pardes, went into the mystical parts of the Torah. Some say they physically went to heaven. They did something called Ilui Neshama. Ilui Neshama is when someone simply takes the Neshama and goes up to Shamayim without dying. And they saw what happened in Shamayim. The names were Ben Azai, Ben Zoma, Elisha ben Avuya, who is forever known as Acher, the other, and Rabbi Akiva. They all went up to heaven and saw what was going on over there. There is a tzaddik in Eretz Yisrael, Rav Shani. He says that he is able to do it not only for himself but for other people. It's very hard for many people to believe it, even though there's proof, because this is something that no one has been able to really truly do, at least not publicly, since the days of the Arizal. But nonetheless, he is the grandson or great grandson of the Avat Chaim. So he's a very big Mekubal. But the point being is that you see that some of his shiurim, if you speak Hebrew, he speaks about this. And it's unbelievable that someone in our generation even has knowledge of this stuff. Point being is, don't mess with it. Why? Look what happened in the story of people much bigger than Rav Shani. Much bigger than anybody in the world today. Much bigger than the whole world together. These 4 Tanaim. Ben Azai peeked into the Pardes. He looked into the Pardes. It was so beautiful. It was so delicious over there. His neshama didn't want to go back to his body. He died. It was so amazing over there. He says, I can't go back to what? This world. Who wants this? He stayed over there. He died. But that's not what Hashem's will is. Hashem doesn't want him to die. He wants him to learn Torah. But he died. Ben Zoma peeked into the Pardes and went crazy. This, unfortunately, Rabotai Kareem, is still happening to this day. People that delve into the Zohar Kadosh, into Kabbalah, into the mystical aspects of the Torah, and the Lo Ra'ui, they're not in that level, especially when they go into the super mystical things, such as the names of angels, and start saying names of angels, and they don't know what they're doing. These angels, they're not, regular people. If you're not in that level to say their name, they come down and they hurt you. There's one tzaddik that I recently found out about. It was a very, very serious Talmid Chacham, started delving into the Zohar, went crazy recently, just a few months ago. There's a whole hospital in Yerushalayim, in Har Nof, just for those people. People that lose their mind from learning, but learning things that are beyond their pay grade. That's why it's foolish when people say, oh yeah, I'm learning Zohar. Do you know the Shulchan Aruch? Do you know Halachot Shabbat? Do you know Parashat Shavua? You know any of this? Do you know how to spell Parashat Shavua? Do you know Hebrew? They don't know anything. But no, I'm going to the Zohar. They play with an atomic bomb, thinking it's a firecracker. So Ben Zoma peeked into it, lost his mind. Hashem Yirachem. Elisha Acher is a very interesting story. Elisha Acher was the rabbi, one of the rabbis of Rabbi Akiva. He went up there and he started seeing things. He saw angels. But he saw the most powerful of all angels, the Memtit. He's so powerful, can't even say his name. The Gemara says, what is his job? He sits there all day and he writes all of the merits of Am Yisrael. Now when Elisha ben Avuya saw this, he lost his mind. Why? He says, it doesn't make any sense. It says in the Torah that all the angels stand on one leg. What is this angel doing sitting? Turned him into a kofel. Why? Because he saw something that didn't make sense to him, and he became a very big heretic. Hashem Yirachem. It took several generations to take him out of Gehinom. But the only reason he was able to come out of Gehinom, even though he had all of these avirot, is number one, he had an enormous amount of Torah, but two, he had an enormous Talmid named Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes. If you have a Talmid named Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes, you can do whatever you want. But until then, you listen to basic cable. Basic over here. You listen to what we say over here. Basic. So Elisha ben Avuya went, peeked into the Pardes. Hashem Yirachem. He lost his mind. He started becoming kofel. Committed murder. All types of things. Then it was Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva peeked into the Pardes. And he went in peace and he came out in peace. He's the only one that survived. So we see here, Rabotai, that dealing with the mystical, with the supernatural, with the things that are above and beyond the norm, is not exactly something that's for everyone. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't peek into certain things. The Rav Chida, Allah Shalom, says, someone who only learns the Pshat, Remez, and Drash, meaning the first three levels, the surface, the hints, and the Midrashim, is going to be an incomplete Talmid. Just as the Pasuk says, Al tiye kesus kepered. There's a Pasuk in Tehillim 32, verse 9. It says, Al tiyu kesus pepered. Don't be like a horse and like a donkey. But kepered means like a donkey, meaning pei resh dalit. The pshat remedas. Don't just learn the three. Also go into the mystical at some point when you're at that level. When you're at that level. But what happens if a person goes straight into the sod, into the secret? That's Rashi Tevot sachan. What's sachan? Tipesh, fool. Someone goes straight into the secret is a fool. Why? You're going and you're going to try to perform your science project on an atomic bomb. You're going to try to really see if the foundation of the building is good while you're under the building. You don't know what you're doing, but you're going to mess with it. You don't know what you're doing. Point being, Rabotai, is there's a time and a place for everything. So when you see some of these people, whether it's the Kabbalah Center or some other kofar named some Russian guy who outright said to Larry King Live, yes, do you believe in God? He said no. But he teaches Kabbalah to millions of people. Guy says, you believe, do other rabbis agree with you? He says no. He was on Larry King Live, this kofar. Other rabbis don't agree with me. He doesn't believe in God. Nothing. But he teaches Kabbalah to millions of people. Very famous. Because he says this is the secret to life and nature and all types of shtuyot. So if you see somebody like that, you see somebody like Kabbalah Center, or sometimes you see rabbis, Orthodox rabbis, that are teaching Kabbalah to the public. They tell you, Kabbalah shiur, press here. Come, we have a new Kabbalah shiur at our local shul. Everyone is welcome. Run away. Not there. Run away. Why? Kabbalah is not something you teach to the public. If he says he's teaching Kabbalah to the public, either he's a liar or he's a meshugana. Something's missing. Why? You don't teach Kabbalah to the public. Why? Because the average person in the world does not even know the 39 melachot of Shabbat. 39 melachot. There's 39 restrictions on Shabbat. That if you violate one of them, not all 39, you violate one of them, you go to Gehenom. Meaning, it's not like you violate one of them and Hashem is going to say, you know what, you kept 38. Good for you, kid. You're okay, you're still in. You got it, you passed. You violate 2, 3. No, good for you, kid. You got 36 right. You're okay. It doesn't say that. You drive on Shabbat, you have serious problems. Most people in the world, unfortunately, sometimes including religious people, do not know the 39 melachot of Shabbat. Do not know the real dinim of the laws of Nidah. Many religious women come to me and asking me different questions, and I say, wait a minute, how long have you been religious? You're Baal Tshuva. She goes, no, I was born religious. I said, wait, and you don't know that you're not supposed to sleep in the same bed as your husband when you're Nidah? What Kala class did you attend? In the church? Where did you learn this? Rabotai Karim, basic stuff people do not know. Basic stuff they don't know. So you're going to go teach people that don't know the basics Kabbalah? How? How could it be? But they're going, why do they do it? Because Maim Gnuvim Im Taku. There's a law in the Torah, Shlomo HaMelech teaches us, stolen water are sweeter. We always want something that's not allowed to us, that's not available to us. If you remember, I told you there was some goyim made a study about the attraction of men to a married woman. They took two twins, two girls that were twins, identical twins. You can't tell the difference between them. And they asked a bunch of guys, which one do you find more attractive? Over 90% found the A more attractive than B. But there's no difference in the looks. Say, why did you find her more attractive? You go, no, she's just a lot better looking. She's a lot better looking. After that, they show them the pictures. The same exact person. What's the difference? Difference is the one that they picked, over 90% picked, happens to be married. Now, they didn't know that she's married. But their neshama, the Yetzirah, knew she's married. And they picked her. Maim gnuvim im taku. We want stolen waters. We want stuff that's not allowed. So unfortunately, some of the shysters, some of the criminals of the world also join the spiritual world. And they know that people want stuff that is not available to them, that sounds really foreign. I remember in Boca Raton, there was one guy I'm not even sure if he knew what Shabbat was. Forget about keeping Shabbat. I'm not sure if he knew what Shabbat was. But he went into the Sifriya, and he picked a book out. He started reading into it. He started telling one of the guys that actually knows Torah in the shul about some Zohar that he started reading. And one of the Talmidim Chachamim in the shul says to him, "You're teaching it completely wrong. It doesn't mean what you say. You shouldn't be reading." He tells him outright, "But you shouldn't be reading the Zohar. You're not in the level to read the Zohar." He's, all you people say that stuff. Why? You're trying to hide it from us? You think that you're better than us? That's why we're not allowed to read the Zohar. Only you people can read it. He goes, no, you're just not understanding it. But the guy doesn't know Aleph Bet, doesn't know Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim v'et haaretz, doesn't know that, but he wants to go directly into the Zohar. Why? Because it's far away. Another time, unfortunately, I saw a rabbi come into that same exact community, and, they have guests, different rabbis, and then he wanted to entice the Keilah after Tefillah, after Arvit, to come learn with him. So what does he say? We're sitting there, everybody finished praying, everybody starts leaving, goes, oh guys, come on, we're going to have a shiur at such and such house, 45 minutes, pure Zohar. That's what he said to them. 45 minutes, pure Zohar. Nothing but Zohar. Everybody all of a sudden is interested in Shiur Torah. Learn Parashat Shavua, learn Halachat Shabbat, learn Halachat Kashrut, learn how to make sure that your wife knows how to buy clothes, learn anything, no. But pure Zohar, everybody, follow up this guy. Now this guy's a criminal though. Even though he got all these people to go to Shiur Torah, he's a criminal. Why? He's teaching them something that they are not, if he's teaching them Bechal Zohar. It's hard for me to believe he's teaching him that, but nonetheless, if he's really teaching them that, it's a mistake. Why? You don't teach it to the public. Unless it's specific midrashim that are permissible to all. And to know which is which, you have to also know what's allowed, what's not allowed. You have to have a rabbi that's going to tell you what's allowed, what's not allowed. To learn the midrashim of the Zohar is not a problem. But to learn some of the more mystical things, some of the things that are more beyond the average person, that's going to confuse you. It can be very, very dangerous for certain people. But nonetheless, you're going to see a lot of people, especially in the Olam HaChasidut, in the world of Chasidut, where they're going to start confusing you, but at the same time making you feel better about yourself. And tell you, listen, what are you doing? You touch over here? Oh, that's the Chokhmah. No, that's the Binah. No, that's the Reb. Start calling all your body parts all types of names. You're like, what's Chokhmah, Binah? What is this? No, that's the Malchut. That's the Malchut. Oh, it's the Malchut. Melech, Malchut. You start walking around, you're thinking you're a Malchut. No. People start shaking your head. Hey, that's my Malchut. It's not a regular hand, it's the Malchut. It's the Malchut. No. Some woman came to me, she said, listen, I'm having a problem because my Gvura is very weak. I said, who? What? Excuse me? My Gvura. All types of things that aren't Kabbalah, but who are you to say these things? Do you even know what they mean? What'd you look them up on Wikipedia? Unfortunately, sometimes you see rabbis teaching these things, and the average folks start going to people and say, oh yeah, this is my Netzach, this is my Chesed, this is my Gvura, Manishma Gvura, Manishma Malchut. Who is this Malchut and who's this Gvura, and do you even know what you're saying, Bechlal? No, why? I have the whole drawing, I have a poster in my room, my bedroom. You mean the bedroom that you and your wife are in? You have that poster on? He goes, yeah, it's a very expensive picture. I said, Hashem Yerachem al your wife, that she's married to you, that you have this poster in you. People do not know right or left. But unfortunately, they're learning all types of things. Why? Because it entices the Yetzer Hara. Yetzer Hara loves this type of Torah. Why does the Yetzer Hara love the Kabbalah Center or love the rabbis that teach things that are above and beyond the average folks' pay grade? Because all of that Torah goes to him. Everything that they're learning in the Kabbalah Center, everything that they're learning in these places that they teach the average Joe, things that are above and beyond anything that's going to help him do tshuva, all of it gives the Satan more power. It's not a single minute of that shiur is mitzvah. All of it goes to the Sitra Achra. So the Satan loves it. Hence the reason why you're never going to see the Kabbalah Center do a fundraiser. Never. Why? They have billions of dollars given to them without them asking for money. You're never going to see the guy that teaches Kabbalah ever short of money. Never short of it. And why? The Satan gives him so much money. He makes him feel good. He makes the people that follow him feel even better. the Malchut, the Gvura, the this one and that one, they're all walking around. Why? Because they figure this guy's building a $30 million building every week. He must be doing something right. You're still speaking out of a $5 shul. He's building $30 million buildings. Of course, Hashem is blessing him much more than you. You're just jealous. But they don't realize that the Satan is very, very rich. So this, Rabotai, is the disclaimer. Disclaimer on delving into some of the topics we're going to talk about on your own. If I didn't learn this from my rabbi, I would not be able to either teach you this or even learn it myself. Now, this is from the parts of the Zohar that is permissible to the average person, especially if it's taught the right way. But nonetheless, you're going to see that some of the things that we're going to say, Be'ezrat Hashem, are deep and also a little different than usual. Some are the same, nonetheless. Now, all of us have heard about the Mashiach. It's one of the Ikarei Emunah. It's one of the 13 principles of faith. The Rambam put together almost 900 years ago. The 13 things that a Jew must believe. One of them is that the Mashiach will come. The Mashiach will come on any given day. Chachamim say, wait a minute. How could the Mashiach come on any given day if the prophet says that Eliyahu HaNavi has to come 3 days before him? This is confusing. How could the Mashiach come tomorrow if, for him to come tomorrow, Mashiach would have had to arrive 2 days ago? So Chamim say that it's not for certain that the Eliyahu HaNavi has to come 3 days before. That's one of the possibilities. But one of the other possibilities also for the Mashiach and Eliyahu HaNavi to come at the same time. This we've learned before. But what I'm going to tell you today is breaking news. Eliyahu HaNavi is already here. Eliyahu HaNavi is already here. Does that mean the Mashiach is going to come in 3 days from now? I don't know. All I can tell you for sure, Eliyahu HaNavi is already here. According to the Zohar Kadosh, he's been here already for many years. Almost 20 years he's been here. How so? So, the last prophet that we had was Malachi. And Malachi says, last prophecy, he's the last prophet, and this is his last prophecy. In chapter 3, verse number 22 until the end, 24. זכרו תורת משה עבדי, אשר ציוויתי אותו בחורב על כל ישראל, חוקים ומשפטים. He says, remember the Torah of Moshe my servant, which I commanded him at Chorev for all of Israel, its decrees and its statutes. Chorev is another name for Mount Sinai. הנה אנוכי שולח לכם את אליהו הנביא לפני בו יום אדוני הגדול והנורא והשיב לב אבות על בנים ולב בנים על אבותם פן אבוא והכיתי את הארץ חרם. He says, behold, I send you Eliyahu HaNavi, Elijah the prophet, before the coming of the great and awesome day of Hashem. Awesome day of Hashem meaning the day Mashiach comes. And he will turn back to God the hearts of fathers with their sons, and the hearts of sons with their fathers, lest I come and strike the land with utter destruction. So here is why the machloket between the Chachamim says, one says 3 days, because a different prophet says 3 days, but the prophet Micha says, I'm sending him Eliyahu HaNavi, he doesn't say days. That's what the Chachamim say here. It could be, it comes together with Eliyahu HaNavi. It could be, comes 3 days before Eliyahu HaNavi. But we have another opinion. What's another opinion? He's already been here for a long, long time. And we're going to find out about that opinion. But this Eliyahu HaNavi, first, remember, when it has to do with Mashiach, what's going to save you? Torah Moshe. You do tshuva, you keep Torah, all that stuff, okay, you're in good shape. Not, Read the rest of it. Why? It says, I'm going to send you Eliyahu HaNavi. What's Eliyahu HaNavi? Eliyahu HaNavi is going to help people do tshuva, turn their hearts of their fathers with their sons, and the sons with their fathers back to Hashem. Or else I'm going to strike and destroy the land, destroy everything. So here, we have a little bit of a explanation to do. Is Eliyahu HaNavi coming to help people do tshuva? If that's the case, 3 days is not enough. Anyone that's been coming to the shiurim for at least a few months, if not a few years, already knows that to do tshuva takes a very long time. Tshuva is not something, oh, I'm going to start keeping Shabbat this week. You're Baal Tshuva now. It doesn't work that way. Okay, good. You're not going to go to Genom forever because you said you're going to keep Shabbat this week, and Bezat Hashem you keep it, but you're not considered a full Baal Tshuva. Why? Because, first of all, you still have to fulfill the mitzvot. You didn't have time to fulfill the mitzvot in 3 days. Maybe it's Monday and Mashiach comes already on Thursday. You didn't have time to keep Shabbat even once. How are you Baal Tshuva for Shabbat? On the other hand, you still didn't stop wasting seed. You still didn't leave the Goya. You still didn't leave the Goy. You still didn't start eating kosher yet. You still don't even know what you don't know. You still didn't even learn Torah for more than a couple of days straight. How are you really a Baal Tshuva? Meaning, in order to fulfill the 4 steps of Tshuva that the Rambam says in Ilchot Tshuva, it has to take time. First, the person needs to stop sinning. Stopping the sins, all the sins, not only requires you to stop them, but you also have to know what they are. To know what they are takes time. Takes time. To know all of Halachot Shabbat takes time. If you're going to read, if you're Sephardi, you're going to read Yalkut Yosef, it's 3 books just on Halachot Shabbat. Even if you're a fast reader, it's going to take you a few months. At best. To memorize it, maybe a few years. You have to read it a few times sometimes. What about kashrut? What about nidah? What about watching your eyes? What about midot? What about all the different things that you have to keep? You don't even know anything yet. How are you about Tshuva in 3 days? So that's why the Zohar Kadosh says that there are 3 types of arriving or uncovering and revealing of Eliyahu HaNavi. 3 different types. One is a man who suddenly gets the urge, a woman that suddenly gets the urge out of nowhere to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Out of nowhere. He's keeping a few things. He's learning a few things. But out of nowhere, she feels like, I have to do chesed. I have to start giving challah to all of the poor people in the neighborhood. Yeah, but you don't even know how to make challah yet. I'll learn how to make challah. Just so I can give it to all of the poor people in the neighborhood. All of a sudden, she wants to be the biggest tzadikah in the world. Sarai Imenu. From where did this come from? Oh, I'm going to give CDs. I'm going to arrange shiurim. I'm going to get everybody to do shiurei Torah. Shiurei Torah? Do you even know a rabbi? No, but I'll find a rabbi and I'll bring him here and he's going to help everybody do tshuva. Where did you get this energy from all of a sudden? Where did this come from, lady? You don't ruin anything. I'm going to keep, you come to the shiur Torah too. All of a sudden, you're the biggest talmid there. But you don't even know why. Who? Where does this come from? All of a sudden, she's zealous for Hashem. Why? All of a sudden, the guy's like, hey, Rabbi, listen, I want to learn Gemara. Gemara? Why? You keep Shabbat yet? I'm starting this week. Baruch Hashem, what made you? I don't know, I saw a video, it was 3.5 minutes, and I want to do everything now. All of a sudden, the guy, Baruch Hashem, Rabbi Akiva, he wants to take everything on. Where does this urge come from? Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says, in the Zohar, page 123, Aleph, that this is one of the revealings of Eliyahu HaNavi. Personal revealing, in your mind. Eliyahu HaNavi is enticing the person to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu to a high level. Supernatural. All of a sudden, he wants to do some things that he didn't want to do his whole life. All of a sudden, he wants to do tshuva, but 100%. All of a sudden, she throws out all of our clothes in one day. She hears a shiur for 7 minutes. Rabbi says you're not allowed to be immodest. She goes to her house. She takes all the clothes that she has in the closet, throws it all in the garbage, burns it, makes a YouTube video of her burning all of her clothes. She hasn't even bought clothes yet. She has her jacket from the winter that she wears until she buys clothes. That's Eliyahu HaNavi. Second, sometimes a person learns. Once in a while you get, Baruch Hashem, people that learn Torah. And all of a sudden, He's learning regular. He's learning his Shtay Mikra Echad Targum. He's learning his Parashat Shavua. He's learning his Gemara, his Daf Yomi. He's been an average guy for a few years. Nothing special. He's not giving any major shiurim. He's just an average guy. But all of a sudden, his Torah, he's learning. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. He says, you know what, instead of going to sleep, I'm going to push for another half hour. Sleep for actually less half hour. I'll push a little bit more. He goes another 20 minutes, another 25 minutes. At 29 minutes, at 2:29 at night, all of a sudden, the whole page that he's been learning becomes like the movie The Matrix. He sees the whole blueprint. He has a chidush that connects this sefer to some sefer that he read 15 years ago, another sefer that's on the shelf that he barely even delved into, but it happens to know the one page in it, all types of things, and he has a chidush that the world has never seen before. No one's ever heard these words since Mount Sinai. He has this chidush. That's another uncovering of Eliyahu HaNavi. The third and highest level is Eliyahu HaNavi Mamash, where a person sees Eliyahu HaNavi. Now there are some people that have told their stories, to Rabbi again and other Chachamim, where they saw Eliyahu HaNavi. For example, Rabbi again's grandfather saw Eliyahu HaNavi a couple of times. Also, you had a couple of Talmidim that saw Eliyahu HaNavi in different ways. One time there was a guy that told him, listen, Kvod Harav, one of his Avrichim in the Kollel says, Kvod Harav, you got to meet my Chavruta. He saw Eliyahu HaNavi. Okay. I like people that say they saw Eliyahu HaNavi. And he says, okay, let me talk to him. So, he says, yeah, but he's learning, is this, is that. One day he goes to the Kotel, he goes, Kvod Harav, that's him. Talk to him. So this guy says, I'm going to tell you the story. He says, no. I want to know every detail. Don't miss a point. Not too much, not too little. I want to know exactly what happened. He goes, Kvod Harav, I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. I was born Herzl Knaani. The worst possible name in the Torah, maybe, other than Esav. Herzl Knaani. That's what this guy, the Kofer, but also from Knaan. But today I think his name was Yacobi or something. They changed it to a kosher Jewish name. He says he didn't know anything. Didn't know anything. And one day suddenly he decided he got some desire to check what else is in the world and so on. And little by little started delving into the world of Torah. And he made a minhag. What was the minhag? That every day, at a specific time, he's going to learn Torah no matter what. No matter what. And he had this minhag for a few years. Now you're supposed to make 18 for Torah. You have to learn Torah every day at the same time. But he had this thing where he would learn Torah at a specific time, like he's supposed to. But one day, as the Satan would have it, he always likes to mess around. He gives this guy a tikkun, and he tells him he can't learn at that specific time. He has to go to somewhere that he really didn't have to go. So he says, okay, I have to go. I can't learn. I mean, I already have this minhag for a few years, but okay, beseder, what can I do? So he goes on the bus, and he starts walking to the back of the bus. He notices there's nobody on the bus. And he gets to the back, and he sees there's an old man with a baby face. And he gets scared to death, but he doesn't know what to do. He can't turn around because he's too scared. He's scared to go forward, but he doesn't know. He just sits down, which happens to be right next to the old man with the baby face. You know, sometimes you have certain people, they're older, but they have a baby face. He said, I was so scared because I knew he's not from here. I'm scared to look up, but then I hear a voice, this beautiful voice. He says to me, you are such and such, Yacobi, right? I said, yes. He goes, you weren't born Yacobi. You were born Herzl Knan, right? I said, yes. He said, you have a shiur today, at this time, right? I said, yeah. He goes, why'd you cancel it? Oh, I have to go, never do it again. We like your shiurim in Shamayim. We like your learning at this time in Shamayim, never do it again. And he started telling him all the types of details with specific time of when the Mashiach can come. And he says, just to make sure you know it's real, when you go home, you can tell your wife, you can tell people that you saw me, you can tell people that I told you certain things, but not the details of Mashiach, though. And to verify that you're not losing your mind, your ear, he touched his ear, he goes, your ear is going to blow up. It's going to be really, really big, but don't worry, it's going to go away. And he tells Rabbi again, I went home, I wasn't sure what happened, all of a sudden my wife screams, she goes, what happened to your ear? I go to the mirror, I see my ear is 5 times the size. He says, oh, I guess it's real. I told my wife, and so on and so forth. So there's different strange stories like this, of different people seeing Eliyahu HaNavi mamash. There's even in the Gemara, some of the Chachamim, that saw Eliyahu HaNavi, sometimes as a poor man, sometimes as a different thing, but point being is that there is 3 different types of uncovering of Eliyahu HaNavi. Now, the Rambam writes in Halacha something unique. In Hilchot Melachim, chapter 12, Halacha number 2, he talks about the days of Mashiach. He talks about something that many people do not know, apparently. I personally have never heard this in a shiur. Doesn't mean that I've seen every shiur, but I haven't heard this before. It says, Amru Chachamim, En ben ha'olam hazeh limot HaMashiach, ela she'ibud malchuyot bilvad. Says, our sages taught there will be no difference between the current age and the Messianic era, except the emancipation of our subjugation to the Gentile kingdoms. In so many words, we're not going to be under the control of Donald Trump, Bibi Netanyahu, the lefty liberals, the homosexuals, all of these Reshaim in the world. We're not going to be under their control in the world. Mashiach is going to be the king of the world. You're not going to see any more gay parades. You're not going to see all of this filthy, disgusting billboards that you see everywhere. You're not going to see anybody going against Hashem. Time of Mashiach. But he says, מפשוטן של דברי הנביאים, שבתחילת ימות המשיח תהיה מלחמת גוג ומגוג, ושקודם מלחמת גוג ומגוג יעמוד נביא, ליישר ישראל ולהכין ליבם. He says, the simple interpretation, the pshat, of the prophet's words of this verse that I just read to you, in Malachi 3:22, that says about, behold, I am sending you Eliyahu HaNavi. He says, what's the pshat? The simple interpretation of the prophet's words appears to imply that the war of Gog Magog, the final war, the Third World War, the war where the prophets say 2/3 of the world will die instantly, and the last third will be refined like Hashem refines gold and silver, meaning not all of the third that are left will survive, but 2/3 for sure are dead. That's what the prophet says. That's what Kadosh Baruch Hu says. So this Milchemet Gog Magog, you want to see details of Milchemet Gog Magog? Go to Zechariah chapter 14. You see the details. It defines a nuclear war and a biochemical war at the same time. You see how he says that one guy reaches his hand to his friend, the friend reaches the arm and takes off his arm. Another guy looks at his friend while he sees his friend's face melt and the eyes start pouring out like liquid. What is this from? This is a nuclear and biochemical war. In the times that this was written, 3,000 years ago, the biggest weapon was a spear. What did you have there? You didn't have nuclear weapons, which obviously shows that this is prophecy of the end of the days. So this is the war of Gog and Magog. But he says that the prophet talks about the war of Gog and Magog. It will take place at the beginning of the Messianic age. But before the war of Gog and Magog, a prophet will arise to inspire Am Yisrael to be upright and prepare their hearts to do tshuva. Meaning, there's a prophet, not Eliyahu HaNavi. He doesn't say Eliyahu HaNavi. Eliyahu HaNavi, he says later on. He says there's going to be a prophet. There's going to be Ya'amod Navi. Ya'amod Navi. And there's going to be a prophet that comes. And he's going to help Am Yisrael do tshuva. before the war of Gog and Magog. Once the war of Gog and Magog comes, after all hell breaks loose, eventually the Mashiach will come during the war and win the war for Am Yisrael, but unfortunately, a lot of havoc will happen in between, which we'll discuss momentarily. And then he says, "V'yesh min hachachamim she'omrim shekodem biat HaMashiach yavo Eliyahu." Some say that Eliyahu HaNavi is gonna come. So why is there a difference here? Once he says there's going to be a Navi, another he says Eliyahu HaNavi. Hence the Chidush. A Navi comes from the word Niv Spatayim. Niv Spatayim means someone who's a speaker, someone who gives shiurim. And what the Rambam is saying is that as far as the prophet that's going to come, says in regards to Eliyahu HaNavi, ve'eno ba, he's not coming. It's not him per se that is going to come directly to purify the impure or declare the impure pure. He's not going to dispute the lineage of the presumed. He's not going to do the job of the Mashiach. First is going to be the job of helping Am Yisrael do tshuva. Then it's going to be the job of declaring that Mashiach is here in 3 days. Meaning that there's two jobs for this prophet. Two jobs for the prophet. The job of announcing the Mashiach is the second job, which pretty much at that point, that's the end. No more tshuva after that point. But before that, during the early days of Mashiach, which is where we are today, there's going to be a prophet that's going to help people do tshuva. What's a prophet? Not someone that says prophecy of the future, but rather someone who's a Navi, who niv sfatayim, someone that gives shiurim. Someone or someones. Who's those someones? Anyone that helps Am Yisrael do tshuva is called a Navi. People that help Am Yisrael do tshuva, not people that help people get their bank accounts a little smaller. People that help people do tshuva, that's the job of the Navi. Now, the Rav Ephraim knew a Rav by name of Rav El Maliach, who was the rabbi of Dimona. Zecher Tzadik Livracha. This Rav came to Rav Ephraim one time, and he told him that he brought this Rambam to Rav Ovadia. He says, Kvod Rav, you see here, this is you. You're speaking to Am Yisrael to get him to do tshuva. So B'ezrat Hashem, you're going to be the one. You're the one that's telling people to do tshuva. The B'ezrat Hashem, we're also going to see the end of this Rambam. It says the Mashiach is going to come and everything's going to be good eventually. So Rav Ephraim says, so what did Rav Ovadia say? Rav Ovadia didn't say anything. He just smiled. He just smiled. Now, we don't have Rav Ovadia anymore. We don't have the Lubavitcher Rebbe anymore. We don't have Rav Eliashiv anymore. We don't have Gdolei Yisrael. We don't have Arav Yagen anymore. We don't have all of the Gdolim from the past. What do we have? We have an obligation to still fulfill the verse. We still have an obligation to fulfill this halakha. And what is fulfilling the halakha? To be nif sfatayim. To tell people and to do things to help people to do tshuva. That is still our obligation. Now, the prophet Isaiah, chapter 57, verse 19, says, Shalom, shalom, l'rachok v'lakarov. Says, shalom, shalom, which could mean hello, but also mean peace, to the one that's far and to the one that's close. Chachamim say, why is he saying peace will be, or hello to someone that's far, but also someone that's close? Meaning you're saying someone that's not religious, hello to him first, and someone that's religious, second. Why? He says, worry about the guys that are not religious too. Get them to become religious. Get them to be a karov. Meaning, it's not just about worrying about the religious people. You have to also worry about the not religious people. Why? Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says in the Zohar Tikunei Hazor, page 123a. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says to Eliyahu HaNavi, rise and praise Hashem, and you will arrive before all of the prophets in the generation of Mashiach. Says to Eliyahu HaNavi, get up and praise HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because you are the one that's going to come before all of the other prophets. Before there's reincarnation, there's resurrection of Moshe Rabbeinu, of Zechariah, of Yeremiah, of all of the tzaddikim from the past, you're going to come before everyone else. So Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says, how is this Eliyahu HaNavi going to come before everyone else? Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says he's going to come in three different ways, as we described. One, he's going to be revealed to a person in his own mind by a sudden urge to do Avodat Hashem. Two, he's going to be suddenly appear in a person's mind, giving him a chidush, giving him a Torah insight that he got out of his learning, but he knows that under no way in the world would he have gotten it with his own mind. Why? He doesn't have that type of mental capacity. He may be smart, but he's not that smart. That he's going to figure out something that has never been written before, but it's true. A lot of people say a bunch of things that never existed before, but they're all lies, nonsense. But he's saying, you're going to come up with a chidush that's never been said before, and it's true. It's emet. It agrees with all of the chachamim. That's the second way Eliyahu HaNavi could appear. But third way is Eliyahu HaNavi himself. But just as a footnote, Rabbi Ephraim says that second one, that chidush, can never happen to an arrogant person. So if you're arrogant, forget about Eliyahu HaNavi coming. Why? Because in order for this chidush to be from Eliyahu HaNavi, you have to agree that it came from something that's beyond your mental capacity, that you in your natural way cannot figure out such a thing. It's so big. If you're arrogant, you're never going to think that anything is beyond you. You're going to think, wow, chidushim, you know how many I have? I have a whole book of chidushim. The Rambam's asking me for questions now. Chidushim, you know how many chidushim I have? People think that everything that comes out of their head is a new insight. An arrogant person can never have such a thing. Now, the way that Eliyahu HaNavi will be uncovered is going to bring a renewed spirit of heaven on Am Yisrael, little by little, bit by bit, through these different ways, to sudden urges. All of a sudden, your next door neighbor, Baal Tshuva. Last week, he was making barbecues on Shabbat. This week, he's a Chassid Chabad. Next guy, last week, he was married to who knows what. This week, Ishtabach Shimo, the guy says, when's the minyan? Last week, she was walking around with, you weren't sure if it was underwear or was actually clothes. This week, she's a Chassidah. She has Kisur Rosh and everything. She's telling, did you watch the new wig video? It's really, wigs shouldn't allowed. She's telling you shurim about wigs. What happened? Where did this come from? This renewed spirit that's coming onto Am Yisrael will come little by little. Different chachamim will come out with different chidushim little by little. The renewed spirit of heaven will come on Am Yisrael bit by bit, and through this they will do tshuva and get accustomed to serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu and prepared for the salvation to be uncovered. As it says by the prophet Amos, Hine yamim ba'im neum Adonai Elohim, v'ishlachti ra'av ba'aretz, לא רעב ללחם ולא צמא למים, כי אם לשמוע את דברי אדוני. The prophet Amos in chapter 8, verse number 11, says, הנה ימים באים, behold the days are coming, the word of the Lord Hashem, when I will send hunger into the land, not a hunger for bread, and not a thirst for water, but to hear the words of Hashem. It says, before Mashiach comes, there's going to be a sudden hunger in the world. Not a hunger for food. Why? There's going to be shefa. Everyone's going to be rich. No one is starving to death in the streets of America anymore. No one is starving to death in the modern society anymore. Some people may be a little hungry because they want 2 burgers instead of 1, but generally speaking, no one's dying of hunger in the modern society in the world. It's the opposite. Right now, the average guy eats what the tzaddikim used to eat for Shabbat maybe once a month. He eats it every day. People are eating meat every day, like it's lechatchilas, you should eat it. Tzaddikim used to eat meat maybe once a week for Shabbat. Today we're eating it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You'll say, what'd you have for breakfast? Oh, you only had eggs? You didn't have the bacon on there too? You didn't have the chazir on there? You didn't have the non-kosher? All that stuff? No. You religious people are fanatic. The guy is eating swine in the morning. He doesn't realize what Hashem is b'chal. But suddenly, this hunger is not going to be a hunger for food anymore. It's not going to be a hunger for water anymore. It's going to be a hunger for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's going to be a hunger for Torah. Now you're seeing a little bit now. Baruch Hashem, you see in the world, HaKadosh Baruch Hu invented the internet. People like to contribute these inventions to people. It's completely ridiculous. He just makes it look realistic by giving the putting a person's name on it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu invented the internet. Now unfortunately the internet, most people don't know, originally it was a government project. But it went to the public. Why did it go to the public? Pornography sites. The original websites were only pornography sites. That's how it became popular. But why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu let this happen? Let the Reshaim do what they want to do. Why? Let them build it so that Tzaddikim can learn Torah today, 40 years later. Do tshuva from YouTube. Do tshuva from BezatHashem.org. Do tshuva from some guy that was himself about tshuva a few years ago. Somebody in Australia is going to watch you today. Somebody from Morocco is watching this shiur right now. Morocco. Never in your wildest dreams are you going to meet this guy or this woman in Morocco or in Philippines, in Australia, in Holland, in all these different places. They're watching the shiurim live right now with you guys. They probably have even a better view than you. They're watching the shiurim right now from all over the world. Even the Chazon Ish, the Ben Ish Chai, Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, they didn't have that such a magnitude. Why? They didn't have internet. The Ben Ish Chai, when he taught people, 10,000 people. That's a lot of people. Al Vayalenu, 10,000 people. But he was capped out at 10,000. That shiur started and ended at the shiur. Someone came the next day and said, I want to hear the shiur. So you have to come next time. Why? Shiur's over. Today you have a shiur Torah. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants, he can spread that shiur to every single corner in the world. When? At a time that suddenly people want to learn Torah. Suddenly people want to learn Torah. Suddenly all types of people want to know who Hashem is. Want to know what happened before we were here. And know that they're smart enough that we didn't come for monkeys. Know that we're not going to turn into dust because then there's no point to life. There has to be something. This neshama that's in every single one of us is going somewhere. And this is not the end nor the beginning. People want to know, how is this book still famous, this Torah book still famous 3,300 years later? Today, a book is not famous for a week. The guy publishes before he sells his first copy, the publisher says it's out of print. Why? We decided to discontinue it. We didn't sell enough. Very few people make it to the market. The only time you're going to see their books is in a library because somebody just gave it away to them for free. Nobody wants the book. But Torah, still the bestseller from the beginning of time until the end of time. How is this book still a bestseller with so many people making fun of it? So many people are making fun of it, but yet it's the bestseller in the world. It's still the only one that motivates people to change their life. You could read Harry Potter 50 million times. It's still never going to change your life. You're never going to be stupid enough to take a broom and start flying on it from your 8th floor. You're never going to take the broom, jump out of your 8th floor and says, go, Harry. You're never going to do that. Why? Because you know it's a fake, stupid book. You're never going to start taking your wife's ring. Honey, give me your engagement ring. Why? I want to see. Precious, precious. Lord of the Rings. The precious. Your wife's going to divorce you a week later. What precious, you chamor? What precious? Give me my ring back. You're never going to change your life because of the ring. You're never going to change your life because of all this shtuyot. But if you read the Kadosh Baruch Hu's book, you change your life. Anyone that reads the Torah with an objective mind from beginning to end, with commentary, meaning they understand what the Chachamim said for each pasuk, not trying to translate it from their own stupid mind. They read it from beginning to end and understand what it says, their life changes. Guaranteed. Why? That's the power of the Torah. No other book in the world could be like that. No other book. Despite the fact that so many people make fun of it. Despite the fact that so many people mock it. That's how you see that there's something divine about this book. It's not just a bunch of ink on pieces of paper. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu is telling us, before I'm going to bring you Mashiach, suddenly people are going to want to read this book. Suddenly people are going to be interested. What does this book say? Why is it so special? It's so old, but so interesting. There's going to be a hunger. Meaning that Eliyahu HaNavi is going to come in different forms, little by little, to different neighborhoods in different countries, in different neighborhoods, in different cities. No matter where you are. I have a Talmid in Iran. I don't even know how he watches internet. In Iran. I have one guy in Korea. I'm not sure if it's north or south, but I know neither one of them is so good right now. A few people in China. One guy sent me an email today from China. China. All types of wonderful people. They want to know what Hashem said. I happen to say what Hashem says in our shurim. Baruch Hashem, we make good friends. Rabotai, there's a sudden hunger for Torah. But now, the question is, how come HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not just going to suddenly send Eliyahu HaNavi? Now, surprise, I'm here. Come with his 4 wings. Eliyahu HaNavi is Malach. He's got 4 wings. Shh, arrive here in where we're, Sunny Isles. Middle of the shoe, see the ceiling open up. Everybody runs, ah! Special effects. Eliyahu HaNavi arrives. CGI. Let's go, guys. We should make a movie out of this. Eliyahu HaNavi arrives. How come not suddenly? Why? Because that's not the way that Eliyahu HaNavi is going to come. Why? Why isn't Eliyahu HaNavi going to come suddenly? Why does it have to be? Little by little, before that great day that he's going to announce finally, Mashiach is coming. Or Mashiach is here. So the Zohar Kadosh continues. The reason why Eliyahu HaNavi is not going to arrive suddenly is because if he arrives suddenly and Am Yisrael did not already do tshuva, they would be judged to death, Rachmana litzlan, like all of the haters of Am Yisrael. As it says in the end of that pasuk by Malachi chapter 3 verse 24, Penavo v'ikiti et haaretz cherem, lest I come and I strike the land with utter destruction. What's destroyed? Mashiach comes, the end. Whoever hasn't done tshuva by that time of announcement, there's no more time for tshuva. No, I'm going to keep Shabbat now. Sorry, too late. No, I'm going to leave her. No, sorry. No, I'm going to watch my eyes. Yeah, you're going to watch your eyes drip out of your face. No, but I was a good person. To who? How could you be a good person but an enemy of HaKadosh Baruch Hu? How? Zohar Kadosh says the reason why Eliyahu HaNavi doesn't come suddenly is because if Hashem Yerachem, if he came suddenly, all of us are questionable. Because who knows if we really did tshuva yet? Who knows if we really did tshuva yet? Therefore, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is trying to give us time. Zohar Kadosh continues in page 134a in Tikunei Zohar, and he says some interesting things that are going to happen before this final announcement. In a generation of the end of the exile, the generation of Mashiach, the people will be like the ones from Sodom and Gomorrah. Homosexuality, chutzpah, stinginess, insulting chachamim, insulting each other, disgusting behavior. This is like reading the newspaper. I went to CVS to pick up some medicine for my kid the other day. I saw there was a newspaper on the counter. Hashem Yirachem. It was another school shooting. Right next to it, there's some other garbage. Just the cover of the newspaper, you want to just say, Hashem, how are you not destroying the world? It's already worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. A little kid is shooting up a bunch of other kids for no reason. In America, on the average, every week there's a school shooting. At one point, it was every 2-3 days. I'm not sure if that statistic is still valid, because last year they had over 300 shootings. Every 300 shootings. No other country in the world has such a thing. Land of the free, Alik. Free what? Free to get killed just for going to school. You go to school, you learn you came from a monkey. You survive the day, maybe someone's going to shoot you anyway. I'm not sure which one's worse. Imagine your whole life you thought your grandfather's a monkey, but you never went to the zoo to visit him. Zohar Kadosh says that the generation before Mashiach is going to be disgusting. Homosexuality, chutzpah, stinginess. A friend of Rabbi Ephraim went to a mayor in Eretz Yisrael. Shem Yirachem, Shem Yirachem. This guy was a gvir, had some money, and he would raise money from different people to open a bet tamchui, a place to feed the homeless. And he comes to the mayor, he says, listen, I'm going to open a building over here. I'm going to buy the building with my money. I'm going to feed the homeless and the poor with my money. I just need you to give me permission. The mayor of the city says, on my dead body, you're going to open this place. He says, no, I'm not asking the government for any money. I'm not asking the mayor to give me any money. I'm going to buy the building with my money. I'm going to feed the people with my money. And on top of that, I'm going to hire the people from the town. So the town benefits, people make money. She says, on my dead body, you're going to open this place. He says, why? He says, what? You're going to make a place to feed homeless people so they can bring their other homeless friends into our town and ruin our beautiful city? He says, what beautiful city? You have 100,000 people that are broke. 100,000 people that are homeless here. 100,000 people are starving to death in your own city. At least let's feed them. He says, no. Then there's going to be more. Don't feed the homeless. Let them die. Who had this rule? Sodom and Gomorrah had this rule. You weren't allowed to feed the homeless. Lot's daughter fed a homeless guy. What they do? They put her on a pedestal, they tied her up, they released a bunch of bees until they killed her. That's why Kadosh Baruch Hu, when he said to Avraham, I heard the scream from Sodom. What was the scream? Lot's daughter. Lot's daughter was a tzadikah. She wanted to do something good. She saw a homeless guy. She wanted to feed him. Says, what, are you feeding him? Oh, we're going to feed you to a bunch of bees. You want to be sweet? We're going to put honey on you. And from all the akitzot, all of the stinks from the bees, it was poisonous. They killed her. Why? You were not allowed to feed the homeless. Like this Reshait over here. That stopped our friend from opening a bet tamchui, a place to feed the homeless. There's a law here in Florida. My wife just told me the other day, she's an original Floridian. She says, you know, in Florida, there's a law that passed recently. So what's the law? It says, if you go to a traffic light, you see a homeless guy, he has a sign, he says, please give me money. You give him money, they give you a fine. If there's a cop over there that has your number, he sees you, you give money to some guy in the corner where the traffic light is, he's going to give you a fine. $500 fine. Maybe even go to jail. For what? For giving $1 to some homeless guy. You want to be a nice guy. You go to jail, spend the night in jail. What law is this? Sodom and Gomorrah. Sodom and Gomorrah. Now everyone's going to think twice. Should I give the homeless? Should I not give the homeless? Shem Yirachem. All of us have this thought right now. All of us have this thought right now. Should I give the homeless? Not give the homeless. Meaning, we may be participants in Sodom and Gomorrah right now. Shem Yirachem. You see a homeless person, give it to them. Don't be stupid. Kadosh Baruch Hu will protect you from mitzvot. Now, this filth of a world that will exist before Mashiach, Hashem will get us out of it. Will save us from here. But Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai continues and he says, the sins will fill the land. The filth of the sins will be everywhere. There's not going to be a single space in the world. There's not going to be sins and filth of sins. Where are these sins coming from? The Erev Rav, who are the children of the Satan himself. Wait a minute, but they're Jews. He says, yes, exactly. There are some Jews that are considered in Shamayim children of the Satan and his wife. And they're called Sehor and Chametz in Shamayim. Chametz meaning something you don't want on Pesach. And before the end, before Mashiach comes, they're going to defile the land. They're going to ruin the land. Now I'm going to tell you some of the things, before we continue with the Zohar, of what the Gemara says about what's going to happen before Mashiach comes. The Gemara in Masechet Sotah, page 49b. Amar Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkinos. Rabbi Eliezer HaGadol. Rabbi Eliezer was the rabbi of Rabbi Akiva. He says, Bikvot Mishicha Chutzpah Yizgeh. In a period that will precede the coming of the Mashiach, Chutzpah will increase. Average guy comes, sees the rabbi, doesn't even stand up. Sits in his chair. Hey, what's up? Calls the rabbi in yeshiva like he's his boy. Or best yet, calls him by his first name. Hey, Steve. How you doing? How was your Shabbos? Chutzpan. Calls his rabbi by first name and thinks it's a good thing. Guy calls his father by first name. Instead of saying Abba, instead of kissing his hand, instead of kissing his mother's hand, what does he do? Calls him by first name. Hey, Sarah, where's the car? Abba knows. You mean David? David knows. Calls his parents by first name. Chutzpan Magail. Disgusting behavior of this generation. In my generation, when I was a kid, if I ever called my father by first name, you'd never see me here. I'd still be in the same cage today. Call my father by first name, sit in his seat. Shem Yirachem Aleinu. You don't have to be religious to know that. You don't have to be religious to know that. People call rabbis by first names. No shame whatsoever. Call their parents by first names. Call their teachers by first names. One guy came to an interview one time in my office. Wanted a job. So I'm talking to him. And I said, okay, so tell me a little bit about yourself. This chutzpan, what does he do? He's 20-nothing years old. And he sits back. He sees me sitting back, and I'm waiting for him to talk. He sits back and puts his feet on my desk. Because I want to be like you. I want to be like your job, like this. I said, you don't even have the job. Out. Put his feet on my desk. Felt at home. He's probably still homeless today, maybe, with that kind of attitude. Chutzpanim. Gemara continues, says that V'yoker Ya'amir, the cost will soar. There's been inflation. When I was a kid, $1.50, you buy a gallon of milk. Today, $6, $7, $8. Cookies, $1.50. You guys have a pack of cookies today, $5.99. You feel special if you got a twofer. Like, honey, how many cookies do you want? 1. Well, let's get 18. Why? It's 2 for 1. Well, let's just save for the winter. It's already winter. Yeah, for next year. We're saving half price. We're only paying $4 each because it's 2 for 1. The vine will yield its fruit, yet wine will be dear. Wine today, you want to get good quality wine? $20, $30, $40, $50, $100 for good quality wine. Stuff you buy for $7, $8, sometimes it's good, sometimes not. It's 50-50 shot. You're either going to do kiddush, drink it and say, oh, l'chaim, you say, oh, Hashem Yirachem Aleinu, what kind of wine? You're not sure. Why? Because you only spent $8 on the wine. Sometimes wine is $8 perfectly fine. The problem is it turns to vinegar pretty quickly, though. You want good quality wine, costs a lot more money. But what if you don't have the money? What if you don't have $50 to spend on wine? Wine is dear. Says the government will turn it to heresy. Says the government. What does the government have to do with heresy? Says the government is going to be a place where people watch the news, and from watching the news, they'll become heretics. Why? They're going to give power to Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump, during the time that he existed as a president, that Hashem allowed it to happen, it happens to be the best economic shape that America has been in many years. And people are contributing it to Donald Trump. Or during the time of Bibi Netanyahu, such and such happened in the Israeli economy, and therefore they're contributing it to Bibi Netanyahu. Watching the news will make religious people heretics. But even more so, the government will be heretical itself, it says. Like this Rasha Merusha from Tveria, who made it his number one mission in life to turn Tveria into a place that's anti-Torah. He's spending government money to make sure that everybody drives on Shabbat, make sure that the whole parks, all the stores are open. He's bringing snow from different places so all tourists will come to Tveria on Shabbat, going against the rabbis. Now he's going to have a special, this Rasha Merusha, this Kobi, Yimach Shimo V'zichro, this guy who doesn't even know how to say Kiddush. He made a video of himself making Kiddush as if he's semi-religious. He doesn't know how to say Kiddush for Shabbat, this Rasha. He made headlines, again, a few days ago. What? He's going to have, there's a special place named in Tveria, named after Rav Ovadia. Named after Rav Ovadia, for Kavod Rav Ovadia, Kadosh Elyon. He says, over there, we're going to sell Christmas trees. We're going to sell Christmas trees over there. What do you think? He's the only one, this Rasha? Our friend, Rasha Merusha, Mirvis, made headlines again. Mirvis Amenuval made headlines again. Why did he make headlines again? Chief Rabbi of UK, Miskenim. Chief Rabbi attends mosque for Mitzvah Day activity, saying this is what the world should be like all the time. He's here, mitzvah with a sheikh. Here, Mirvis, Rabbi, Orthodox Rabbi, Keilu. Here he's with a sheikh. Over here he says this is Mitzvah Day. Mitzvah Day, we're going to a mosque. We're making a huge statement. Rabbi Ephraim Mirvis declares, I thank all our brothers and sisters in the Muslim community for joining in the initiative. Sadly, the people that put him in power and leave him in power are worse than him. Why? They keep him there. They keep him there. The Gemara continues. What you just heard, you're not going to see anywhere else. Why? Because the Gemara says, aside from the government turning to heresy, there will be no rebuke. People that tell the truth are going to be very few. In the English-speaking world, you could count it on a single hand, maybe. Single hand, maybe. Why? Because even the people that want to say the truth, Hashem Yachem, Satan takes revenge against them. Rav Alon, another, God bless him, almost died a few weeks ago. Satan goes, mamash, hardcore. You guys have no idea what I have to deal with every day just to make it to a shiur. If you saw it, you say, honestly, I don't know if it's worth it. You tell me, I don't know if it's worth it. You have no idea what Rav Mizrahi has to deal with every single day just to do a shiur. You have no idea what anybody that's going to, mamash, putting mesirut nefesh, but mamash, putting their life on the line just to make a shiur Torah. You have no idea what we have to deal with. People send you 5 million questions a day. And then you finally give them all the answers that they want, and they still do the opposite. Or better yet, Oh, Kvod Rav, you're the best. You may help me do tshuva. I did this, I did this, I did this, and I just donated $500 to a different place. He's saying, Ribono Shel Olam, are you stupid or just dumb? Like, which one is it? I don't understand. If you're saying, not me, I said it, you're saying I helped you, I saved you, I did all of this, why are you donating to somebody else? It's people don't even know anything. You lose your mind. You lose your mind. Then the best part is, after you help them, they go against you. Like this Menuval that was here in the shul a few times. He calls different people from the shul on a regular basis. No, don't come to the shul anymore. Why? That's what happens. But you keep going. Why? You're not working for him. You're not working for the Rishaim. You're working for the people that want to know Torah. But that's also part of the reason why even the ones that say the truth are hard to find new ones. It's hard to find new ones. Why? Because even if somebody wants to come tell the truth, you start seeing that they can't withstand the tests. I know a couple of guys started that were doing really, really good, disappeared off the face of the earth. So what happened to your YouTube videos? No, I can't do it. Why not? I don't know, ever since I started doing shurim, all of a sudden I got all these problems, this shlom bayit problems, kids problems, health problems, that problem. I said, yeah, but keep going. Salvation's in the car. People need you. He goes, no, can't do it. I got a couple of guys, maybe 2-3 guys that I know. Mamash, tell me the chamim. I tell them, once you speak English. In Hebrew, Baruch Hashem, there's plenty. There's plenty of Talmidei Chachamim that teach Torah that's emet. In Hebrew, there's not that many. No, teach, tell people, Shabbat, this, that. He goes, no, I don't know. 500 times I've told him. You have to convince people to give Shuret Torah. Why? He's like, listen, I did one time and the rabbi yelled at me because I said this, about that. I said, who cares what he says? It's the truth. You say it. It's hard. Rebuke is not just because people don't want to do it, it's even the ones that want to do it are having a hard time. So the rabbi comes to a kehillah, tells them, by the way, Rabotai, from now on we're closing the parking lot for the shul on Shabbat. They fire him the next day. A dear friend of mine told me, listen, I invite you to come give shurim in my Beit Knesset, not because I don't say what you say. I say it, but I only say it to a few people. I can't say it to the whole kehillah. Because if I said it to the whole kehillah, I'd lose my job. If I tell everybody everything you said, they fire me the next day. But I bring you. Why? They'll listen to you, but they won't listen to me. They won't fire you. Why? You're only coming for a day, for a few hours. But it's tzaddik. Why? He knows it's kehillah. He's still going to bring the emet to them, just in a different way, in a clever way. Guy asked me the other day, listen, I'm thinking of moving to a different place. I'm not sure if there's enough Torah there, this, that, all these different types of questions. I said, are you going to be the rabbi there? He said, yeah. I said, it's Makom Torah then. You go there. He goes, yeah, but there's only one yeshiva there, and it's only one this there, it's only one there. I said, are you going to teach over there? He said, yeah. I said, your head is good. Your head is on your shoulders. You're going to teach the emet, you go there. Don't worry about everything else. Don't worry about all the other people over there. Worry about, you're going to teach the truth, people need you over there. Go. But if you're going to teach the lies, you're going to try to be popular, tell everybody that they all have a share of the world to come, stay home. Don't move. Don't go anywhere. The Gemara continues and it says, the meeting place of the sages will be used for harlotry. Sometimes you have Batei Knesset where it becomes like a bar. The rabbi starts befriending all types of women, all types of people. It becomes mamash an embarrassment to Judaism. Chilul Hashem, for the whole place to exist. By the way, you should know all of these places will be destroyed at the time of Mashiach. Just like they were destroyed at the time of World War II. All of the reformed places, every single one of them was destroyed. The Galilee will be destroyed, and the Gavlan desolated. The people who dwell on the borders will wander from about town to town, but they will not be succored. The wisdom of the scribes will decay. There's not going to be as many Talmidei Chachamim. And those who dread sin will be despised. You start telling Yirei Chet, anybody has Yirat Shamayim, they're going to start making fun of you. You have Yirat Shamayim, they're going to start making fun of you. Why? No, come on. Were you scared? No, you have to serve Hashem from love. Serve Hashem from love. No, come on, no. And what do you think? This is only happening to me? It's only happening. I'm going to show you a message. I'm not going to give you the name. I'm going to show you a message I got from a kid that goes to a yeshiva. Unfortunately, the yeshiva, maybe he's, I don't know whether it's Esav teaching them, or I'm not really sure who's teaching them. but this is the product of the Jews. This cute kid, Tzaddik, sent me this, and he wants to tell the rest of his classmates that you have to have Yirat Shamayim. You have to have fear of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's important. And the guys in school are making fun of him. What is what they're saying?
It's not idol worship. It's just prayer that he made. He made the Zicha. He's my mom. It's his. It's Hashem in the Torah. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that it's you're so whatever. You're so stupid, but whatever.
Of course, you know.
You guys don't understand. You really need like talk from like a real Lubavitch, like the biggest Lubavitch Meshpia out there, to talk in sense with you how you should know how it works. You should really know how it works.
So first he insults him for even asking questions. Like, how you been asking these questions? Because he's telling him, listen, you're praying to the Lubavitcher Rebbe. You know, it's idolatry.
No. Yourself, if you go to the Hashem Lord worship, okay? He's a great tzaddik. You talk about the Shach guy like he's God. The guy, he's nothing, honestly.
Then he says that Rav Shach is nothing. And he says I'm nothing also because I'm part of the conversation. This Talmid Yeshiva says this.
Is a piece of Hashem.
Oh, it's my favorite part. He says that the Lubavitcher Rebbe is a piece of God. This is what they teach in Yeshiva today.
Piece of nothing. We love the Rebbe is a piece of Hashem. Hashem took a piece of himself and put it into the Rebbe, and the Rebbe is Hashem's shliach to bring light into the world. And
This is Christianity. This is Christianity. This is not Judaism. Just because they put a tzaddik's name and turn it into Avodah Zarah does not mean it's Judaism. And what is he doing? He sent him 15 text messages insulting him, calling him nothing, calling him stupid, calling him this. Why? Because the Lubavitcher Rebbe, according to this imbecile in the yeshiva, he's a piece of God. Why? Because you're not supposed to serve Hashem from fear and from this and from that. No. We don't learn Musar.
I'm not trying to make fun or anything, but the Rebbe said about it's all about not saying Musar. Musar is just saying how you can't do this, you should do this, you do this, you do that. This is going to happen to you, this is going to happen to you. And you're going to get scared. You're not going to do it out of love. You're going to do it out of...
Oh, you're going to serve Hashem out of fear. Why would you serve Hashem out of fear? You have to serve Him out of love. You're to serve Hashem out of love, right? Don't learn Musar.
If you want, you're supposed to serve Hashem with love. That's why the Lubavitch is like, it works better. They tell you...
1 second, let me finish.
I think that's good. So you do it out of love, out of... Excuse me? Excuse me. Who do you think you are?
Meaning he told him you're wrong. So he told him who you think you are and so on and so forth. Now, the interesting thing is, this doesn't show us that they are worshiping idols, but also shows us they're not even worshiping their own idol properly. Why? Because even their own books, one of my dear Talmidim sent me one of the Likutei Sichot of the Lubavitcher Rebbe, and you see that he talks about some of the tzaddikim from Chabad. And it says the following, in page 59 of Likutei Sichot, Parashat Chayei Sarah, it says there's our Nesi'im, he says, have shown us everything, including this principle of awe of Hashem, awe before God. There's a well-known story of the Alter Rebbe that once in the middle of praying on Rosh Hashanah or on Yom Kippur, when the coming of the words, therefore put pechadecha, put our his fear. We're afraid of Hashem. He fell to the ground, rolling to and fro, saying pach, 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 meaning he could not complete the word of pachad in his prayer because he was thinking about the word. The tzaddik, the Alter Rebbe from Chabad, was thinking about the word pachad of what he's supposed to have in front of his Creator. He was so scared that he fell on the floor in the middle of prayer. These are the founders of Chabad. Then he continues, he says in another story of the Tzemach Tzedek Lubavitch, says in the early years of his leadership, he once sat in a Farbrengen with other Hasidim, and he drank a whole glass of vodka, and ordered a third one poured, But afterwards, he moved his hand over his forehead, and one could no longer detect any effects of the liquor. Why? Because the Tzemach Tzedek explained that when he concentrated his thoughts on the greatness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and contemplated on the great fear that he has in front of his Creator, and that fear counteracted the effects of the strong wine. Meaning, Rabotai Yekarim, fearing of Hashem and Musar and Yirat Shamayim is not a Orthodox Judaism thing, non-Chabad thing, or it's a Yaron Reuven thing and a Rabbi Mizrahi thing and not everybody else thing. It's a Torah thing. It's one of the laws of the Torah. It's one of the 613 mitzvot. Fearing Hashem is a commandment from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Gemara in Masechet Shabbat says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu only created the world in order for you to fear Him. That's it. Yeah, what about to love? He goes, most of you are not going to reach love. I created you, so you fear me. Why? Because to fear, everybody could do. But if you do it in certain yeshivot, they make fun of you. They tell you, no, are you crazy? The Lubavitcher Rebbe is God. He's going to save you. And Lubavitcher Rebbe said, don't study Musar. He never said that, by the way.
No,
he never said it. It's all shtuyot. But that's what's happening, Rabotai. The kids are going to yeshivot. They're learning from certain people who are either teaching them wrong or they're not teaching them properly, whatever it is. If you have Yirat Shamayim, Hashem Yirachem, look where you're going to have to go to as a Talmid Yeshiva. Just to survive, to wash a shoe and tell your friends about it, you have to be scared of them stoning you by the end of the week. This is a nevuah in the Torah. People that have Yirat Shamayim, people that Yirechet, Yimasu, they're going to be despised. They're not going to let you be. They're not going to let you be. The truth will be absent, it says. V'amet ein ederet. You're not going to be able to find truth everywhere. You go on YouTube, you type in any Torah, you're going to have 5 million hits. Out of the 5 million hits, maybe 2 or 3 are going to be emet. You type in Chabad on the internet, maybe 1 or 2 of those rabbis are saying the emet. You type in Orthodox Judaism, maybe 1 or 2 here and there are going to say the emet on certain topics. Why? Emet is not so good for money. You tell people emet, that means you tell them not to drive on Shabbat, you tell them not to intermarry. A woman sent an email today, she goes, listen, I don't know, I'm a little concerned after I watched your video. Because I converted 8 years ago, but you're making it seem like my conversion is not legitimate because it's through a conservative synagogue. And I don't know, I tried to listen. I went to the synagogue over here, the Orthodox one, and I told them, listen, I want to convert Orthodox. But they rejected me because I'm married to a non-Jew. And he doesn't want to convert. He wants to believe in Yoshke. I said, you're still asking? You're still asking if your conversion is legitimate from the conservative shul that allowed you to convert while you're married to a non-Jew that believes in Yoshke? The truth, Rabotai Karim, is going to be despised. Youth will blanch the faces of elders. Young little kids like this one, he sent them 3 or 4 voicemails just insulting me. This little chutzpan. He's a nothing, he's a nobody, he's not even a piece of dust, all types of insults. I don't care, it doesn't affect me one way, but just to show you, if this is a Bachur Yeshiva, if this is the type of attitude that your Talmid is expressing to other rabbis, close down the yeshiva, open up another public school, it's the same thing. They may actually act better. What's the point? If your Talmid Yeshiva is going to insult rabbis, whether he knows them, agrees with them or not, but so far proven kosher, Baruch Hashem, you're going to have him insult people, call them nothing, and all types of other words. If that's your Talmid Yeshiva, close the school, open a public school, open a pizzeria, open a plumbing place. Close the place. That's your Talmid? This Rabotai Karim is happening. I get these messages every week. Every week, different group of kids. Baruch Hashem, a lot of kids want to do tshuva, so they hear the shurim. They hear the shulim, but what do they have to deal with? They have to go to school. They tell their friends, listen, I heard this rabbi, he's really good. He said Yirat Shamayim, he said Musar, he said what Hashem said, etc. Instead of saying, wow, you know what? I want to hear it too. What happens? They start throwing rocks at him. Start making fun of him. Why are you doing tshuva? Were you crazy? No, come on. What, you left your girlfriend? No, come on. What's wrong with you? This is what's happening today, Rabotai Yikarim. They make fun of older people. Skenim ya'amdu ipnei ktanim. The elders will stand in the presence of minors. When I was a kid, you walk on a bus. If you sit down in a chair, but there's an older man there, everybody's going to yell at you on the bus. What are you, crazy? Get up, kid. Let the old man sit. What's the matter with you? Chutzpan. You have any shame? What's the matter with you? Let the old man sit. They yell at you. How dare you sit? Today it's the opposite. You see kids running to the chair to take the chair before the old man sits down. Sometimes you see situations where they force the old man to get up. Get up, old man. I want to sit here. You're sitting in my chair. What's the old man going to do? The son derides his father. Kids yelling at their parents, treating them like their friends. One person made a video. Parents brought their kid, 16-year-old kid, a new car. They bought him a used truck. He saw the truck. He was so unhappy. He went back inside the house, and the parents are videotaping this, thinking the kid's going to be happy. To their miserable surprise, the kid was so unhappy, he went back inside. He took a metal baseball bat and started going on top of the car, smashing it to pieces. As a thank you to Abba and Ima for buying him a car. Why? Because it was used. That kid doesn't even deserve a baseball bat. Little does he deserve a car. But this is one of the most disgusting videos I've seen in my life. That's this generation. A daughter rises against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. Kids talking to their parents. Kids talking to their parents like they're friends. Kids are talking to their parents like they...
Sorry to interrupt you. At 11 o'clock, the phone company is coming every night. The reason I came because I saw you were still here. They don't even ask me, and I'm the owner of the building. זה העונה של הפלאזה. הם באים וגוררים פה.
בעזרת השם.
לא, בעזרת השם, ב-11:05 לא לך פה מכוניות, $175 לבן אדם. אני לא פשוט, יש חשוב לי הבית כנסת, לא רוצה חס וחלילה.
תודה רבה.
אז יגרו לכם את המכוניות, פשוט חבל.
בעזרת השם, תודה רבה. So, the mitzvah protects people. Don't worry. The young women today, if they get instructions from their mother, sometimes they take it. Sometimes they yell at their mother like she's our girlfriend. No, Ima, shut up already with that. Stop it with that already. You don't understand the times. You're like old already. What old? I'm 40 years old. What old? No, Ima, come on, no, with your craziness. I'll come back home when I feel like it. Little Bat Yisrael comes home at 1 o'clock in the morning. 2 o'clock in the morning. Our Ima says, it's not acceptable while you're in my house. What are you doing? No, Ima, come on. I was out with Steve. Meaning, even the Ima cannot even rebuke her own daughter. She can't even tell her what to do. Why? The daughter's going to break the house. I got one poor guy, misken. I don't even know how to, I can't help him. I can't help him. He tells me his daughter has lost her mind. She's 13 years old, 14 years old. She lost her mind completely. He's calling me. He's calling Rav Mizrach. He's calling anybody that's going to pick up the poor guy. Misken, he says, I'm so scared of my daughter. We all go and we lock our bedrooms because we're scared she's going to kill us while we're sleeping. Hashem Yilachem. He saw her phone. She has all type of satanic videos on her phone. This is a girl that went to a Bet Yaakov. She went to a Bet Yaakov. She has satanic videos on her phone. He says, I'm scared of my daughter. We all lock our room. Me and all the kids are scared to death. I said, call the cops. He says, no, I'm scared to call the cops. I'm scared to call the cops. Why? This 14-year-old may slice my throat. This is what we have. Now, he says, the daughter-in-law against our mother-in-law. Many times you see divorces happen. Why? Because of the in-laws. It used to be that the in-laws were good. The mother-in-law was like it's called mother-in-law because she was like a second mother. That's how it's supposed to be. Today, more divorces are happening because of the in-laws than anything else. Why? The in-laws decided that they're going to move next door. Why? They want to come to your house 8 times a week. They want to live in your house. Yeah, but I'm married now. I'm not in your house anymore. You come over once in a while, no problem. Come once a week, come for Shabbat. I'll come to you, come to me, but now don't live in my house. No, she's my daughter. Don't tell me what to do. She's my daughter. He's my son. He's my baby. I came here before you. The mom starts yelling at the new bride, Hashem Yirachem, and the new bride doesn't know what to do. And then the mother says, listen, no, son, tell your new wife that I'm the best cook. Tell your new wife I'm the best cook. No, show it. And the poor guy doesn't know what to do. He doesn't want to disrespect his wife. Doesn't want to respect his mom. He doesn't know what to do. He says, yeah, Ima, you're the best. And his wife takes it personally. Why? Because she's slaving herself 7 days a week to cook for this pigil. And he's giving compliments to his wife in front of her and so on and so forth. She doesn't know how to take it. She starts crying all night. She says, listen, go marry your mother. Go marry your mother. I don't want to be with you. I got one woman cries to me once a week. She says, why? My husband didn't come home again. I said, why not? He's at his mother's house again. He just decides not to come home, sleep at his mother's house 2-3 days a week. He's married with kids. I said, I'm sorry, I have no idea how to help such a thing. I don't tell you to find a new husband. I'm scared of worse. Next one will be worse with this generation. You don't know. People have no idea what marriage is. In-laws are causing a lot of problems. I had one kid tell me, listen, I want to get married. The girl's a Bat Yisrael, Kedosha, amazing. I said, so what's the problem? Because my father doesn't like her. I said, why? She didn't say hello right away one time. It's okay, so say I'm sorry. Because she said I'm sorry 15 times already. She bought him a present. She did this, she did that. She's begging him for forgiveness. He won't forgive her. I said, your father was Am Haaretz. He doesn't know anything. He goes, no, my father's a rabbi. I said, Hashem Yirachem. I said, your father's a rabbi? He says, my father's a rabbi. I said, yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry to tell you, but you can't listen to your rabbi. You can't listen to this father of yours. You have to marry this girl. She's a Bat Yisrael. He had the wedding. The father didn't come to the wedding. Why? She didn't say hello one time. Right away. She said it 5 seconds later. The stupidity of people is reaching new highs. New highs. That's what the Gemara says. I'm reading you, not the newspaper. I'm reading you what the Gemara says 2,000 years ago. Then it says, a man's enemies are going to be the people of his household. Unfortunately, that happens a lot. People, unfortunately, have no shlom bayit in their house. They have wars between them and their spouse, wars between them and their kids. You think that your family is all going to be one unit. You end up having hatred. I had one client. He founded a big dog food company, made his kids, everybody, multi-millionaires, made literally hundreds of millions of dollars, gave a piece of the company to each one of their kids, and then one day, all the kids went against the father. He gave you everything you have, you go against him. Why? Part of the Gemara. Part of what's going to happen before the Mashiach is going to come. Pnei adog ke pnei kelev. The face of the generation is going to be the face of a dog. You can have a face, you can have a generation where people have no shame whatsoever. People are doing their business in the middle of the street. All types of business. Their private, intimate business, their filth that they do in the street. They relieve themselves. They're with their wife. They're with their husband. They're with their whoever. All types of disgusting things in the middle of the street, and it's normal business. People make a living out of recording this garbage. This would have never happened. Even the sotah, even the prostitutes of previous generations wouldn't look like a housewife today. They were all covered. Today you have no idea who is the prostitute dancer and who is the rabbanit. Why? How they dress, you can't tell the difference. Sometimes you see the rabbi hugging the rabbanit on the internet, giving her a kiss to show people that he has shlom bayit. He doesn't know in Halacha Shulchan Aruch says you're not allowed to touch your wife in public. Not allowed to touch her. It's funny, but it's not funny. If it wasn't true, it would be hysterical. Unfortunately, all of this is happening. And he says a son is not abashed in the presence of his father, that the son is going to do his business in front of his father. Son's going to bring girlfriends to the house. No shame. Abba, what do you think of her? Disgusting, filthy behavior you're supposed to have in front of your parents. You have to have Yirat Shamayim in front of them like you're fear of God. Bring a girlfriend to the house, you filthy little kid. No, I'm in my room. My room. Your kid's room shouldn't have doors. Why are you locking it for? For what? Want to get dressed in the bathroom. Kids are locking their doors like they have something to hide. What are you hiding? Only problems you're hiding. Ima, don't come into my room. Don't come into my room. Don't come into my house. You start paying mortgage, then you say something. Don't come into my room. But that's what's happening. Kids have no respect. And he says, finally, Ve'alma yesh lanu lishayin, this horrible, filthy, disgusting generation, before Mashiach, the 50th level of Tum'ah, what do we have to rely on then? Ela al avinu sheba shamayim. Only thing you have to rely on is a Kadosh Baruch Hu in the end. If you stick to what a Kadosh Baruch Hu said, you're going to be in good shape. You don't, you're going to be in serious, serious problems. Why? Your family's going to break. Your family's going to have problems. Your kids are going to disrespect you. Your spouse is going to hate you. Your money's going to be unblessed. You're going to make a lot of money, but you're not going to have anything to show for it. All types of things. All of the garbage that we read here will happen to a person. How do we know? That's what Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai over says. He says, in Zohar Matok Midvash, he says, or actually even before, he says that this Erev Rav, all of the sins coming from the Erev Rav, this is all the leaders of the exile. This is all coming. All of the sins are being taught by these leaders, by the Mirvis of the world, by the Goldbergs of the world. They're teaching your kids that they can do whatever they want, express yourself. He says that this generation is going to be a flood of problems. It's going to be during the pre-Messianic days until Hashem will sit on his throne and will rest on the ark of Ararat. What does it mean on the ark of Ararat? Ark of Ararat is like Noah's ark. But what is it really symbolic of? It says Ararat comes from the word Aru. Aru is cursed. Because the mountains of Ararat, this is representative of the generation of all the wicked people, is full of wickedness that's darkening Am Yisrael in the exile. Because Am Yisrael will be Aru. Am Yisrael will be cursed while it's in exile, because all of the rebukes and the curses that are in Parashat Bechukotai, Parashat Azinu, Parashat Kitavo, all of them will come and become fulfilled, Hashem Yirachem, during the exile. All of the curses that are in the Torah will happen to Am Yisrael, Hashem Yirachem. Now, in the Gemara, it says, it could be this, it could be that. It could be that Hashem comes in a good way. It could be that there's going to be war, Gog and Magog. Zohar says, no, I'm going to tell you a secret. Before Mashiach comes, everything's going to happen. Why? They're not going to do tshuva. They're not going to do tshuva by themselves. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is already telling you, they're not going to do tshuva by themselves. The war is going to happen. Stop living a dream. Stop imagining that everything's going to be fine. Mashiach is going to come with some wings and everybody has kumbaya. Not going to happen. There's going to be serious, serious problems. So much so that the Am Yisrael is considered Aru. What Aru? Aru meaning they're cursed from Shamayim because of they haven't done tshuva. And the wicked will succeed in a very big way, the Zohar says. Why? Why are the wicked going to succeed before Mashiach comes? To pay them for the few mitzvot they did in this world, so to eliminate them from Olam Haba. Rasha Merusha starts a Kabbalah center, $1 billion. Another Rasha opens a Beit Knesset, starts a campaign for $1 million, raises $5 million. Another wicked person starts a little thing, becomes multi-billion-dollar enterprise. All of these wicked people are succeeding. And you're like, why? Why is anybody listening to this guy? Because Hashem is paying them cash. He's paying them all cash to destroy them. They did a few mitzvot. They gave some tzedakah once in a while. They put on tefillin here and there. They said yes. They said no. Whatever they did, a few mitzvot, Hashem pays them cash. couple of guys that were in a cash advance business, Hashem Yachem, made $60 million. $60 million before they sold the business. So if that wasn't enough, Chilul Hashem, what these two Jewish guys did, unfortunately, Bezat Hashem, they do tshuva, but if that wasn't enough, the Chilul Hashem continued. Bloomberg made an article about them. They, our movie says Hashem took back his millions, right? They said they gave up God and he gave the millions. That's what the article is called. They gave up God and he gave the millions. Why? They were both Bachurei Yeshiva. They were both Bachurei Yeshiva. Happens to also be Chabad, by the way. Both Bachurei Yeshiva. And unfortunately, they gave up God. And unfortunately, took a lot of people with them. And millions of dollars they got. Who? Kadosh Baruch Hu gave it to them. Why? You don't do tshuva. This is your price for the few years you were in yeshiva. You think you're in good shape now in Puerto Rico. You think you're in fantastic shape. Eating pig every morning. Being with all of these filthy people around you all day. No. What you have right now, that's your end. You should be crying blood that you got this money. You should be crying blood that you have success. Because that means that Kadosh Baruch Hu is paying you cash in this world. They made an article about these two boys to Mamash, big Chilul Hashem. Big Chilul Hashem. I hope Mamash, one of them watches this, gets scared to death and calls me so I can help them do tshuva and fix this Chilul Hashem they did. An article written about you gave up God, that's why Kadosh Baruch Hu gave you millions. You should pay $50 million just for them to remove the article. Even though the article is already a few years old. What a Chilul Hashem. Hashem Yachem. You can't even fix Chilul Hashem. Only Kiddush Hashem can fix it. I'm hoping they watch this and get scared instead of get offended. Like some of the other imbeciles in the world. Thinking that I get benefit out of offending people. But if you're in trouble, I have to scream fire. Because no one else apparently is doing it. Now, this Rabotai Yekarim sounds very depressing. But the Zohar Kadosh in Tikunei Zohar, page 130b, in Matok Midvash 431, says, don't give up. Why don't give up? Because as we already learned, Eliyahu HaNavi comes in several forms. Not just Eliyahu HaNavi Mamash, not just Eliyahu HaNavi that's going to tell us Mashiach is already here and it's too late, but also in a way for you to get Chidushim, a way for you to get more Avodat Hashem. Why? Who does it go to? It goes to people that want to do Kiruv. It goes to people that want to do Avodat Hashem. They want to do something to help Am Yisrael do tshuva. Which means that each and every single one of you could be a little Eliyahu HaNavi, whether you're male or female. You could be a little Eliyahu HaNavi. By taking your Torah, by taking your money, by taking your skills, by taking what you have and publicizing it in order to get Am Yisrael to do tshuva. Because what ends up happening, the Zohar Kadosh says, because one that helps others do tshuva, they end up bringing the shefa, the reward, not just in the next world, but also in this world they get. Why do you get reward in this world? Why do you get such a reward that's so extraordinary? You benefit from it in this world. You get protection in this world. You get benefits financially in this world. Everything good in this world and the next. Why? Because as long as there's Reshaim in the world, we all lose. By you helping people do tshuva, what are you doing also? Aside from returning Hashem's children back home, what are you also doing? You're eliminating the number of Reshaim in the world. Each time you help Steve do tshuva, you help Miriam do tshuva, you help Moshe do tshuva, you help Tzvika do tshuva, you help all these different people do tshuva. These people were Reshaim. These people Mechalei Shabbat. These people were of Avodah Zarah. Now you're going to help them do tshuva. You're lowering the number of Reshaim in the world. You're lowering the number, the quantity of Tum'ah in the world. There's a special price for that. And it's both a material and a spiritual benefit. So much so that a person that could be learning in yeshiva for 15, 20 years, if he starts taking on himself, putting a half hour, an hour, 2 hours a day to do kiruv, to help Am Yisrael do tshuva, HaKadosh Baruch Hu could literally make him learn more in one day than he learned in 15 years. Why? Zchut HaRabim. benefit of the public. Because what ends up happening, Rabotai, the Chachamim use the prophet Eicha, chapter 4, verse 20, and says, Ruach Apinu Mashiach Hashem nilkad b'shchitotam. It says that the breath of our nostrils, Hashem's anointed, meaning the Mashiach, was caught in their trap. The Mashiach is being held up because of who? Because of the Reshaim. And there's anger that comes to the world because of it. So when you help people, Chazal says when you help people do tshuva, there's less anger of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the world. And we get closer to the salvation, we get closer to the good times. More Torah can come to the world to help even more people. By you publicizing Torah, by you taking money and donating it to Kiruv, by you taking time, doing Kiruv with it, by you doing something to help Klal Yisrael do tshuva that works, you, my friend, are benefiting more than anyone else in the world. You're literally being a little Eliyahu Navi. You're becoming a little Eliyahu Navi. Male, female, child, adult, doesn't make a difference. You're becoming a little Eliyahu Navi. Why? Because that's what the Rambam told us here. He told us, yes, there is an opinion that Eliyahu Navi Mamash is going to come. But before he says that, he says that there's going to be Ya'amod Navi Le'asher Yisrael La'achin Libam. Before the war of Gog Magog, there's going to be a Navi. There's going to be a prophet. There's going to be a speaker. There's going to be somebody that's going to help Am Yisrael, what? Become inspired to do tshuva and fix their heart in preparation for Mashiach. Because if the Mashiach already arrives right now, Hashem Yachem, the rest of the verse gets fulfilled, Hashem has to punish everyone. But if you help Am Yisrael do tshuva, you're not only helping them, you're helping yourself. Because you become that Navi. Sometimes you're that Navi by speaking. Sometimes you're that Navi by just simply putting a credit card and putting automatic charge every month, $100, $200, $500,000 a month, whatever it is. Whatever you could afford. The point being, Rabotai Karim, is that every single person is being given a chance to help Am Yisrael do tshuva. Be'ezrat Hashem, each one of us takes advantage of this chance, takes advantage of this schut, to be a little Eliyahu Navi. Because everyone can do something. If each and every one of us, just one example, simple one, each and every one of us takes a few minutes for the next couple of days, looking at their phone and seeing who could I get to come to the shiur on Tuesday. Who could I get to come to the shiur on Wednesday? And each person brings another 5 people. We're all going to have to stand up. Why? We're not going to have room. But it's better we all stand up because we don't have room because there's more people than it being so roomy over here that you can pretty much do gymnastics. Because now you're becoming a little Eliyahu Navi. Now you did something with this knowledge. To keep it to yourself for what? What do you want to be incarnated by yourself? When you go up to Shamayim, they're going to show you a lot of things. And I promise you, the one thing that everybody who does not do Kiruv is going to be sad about is that they're going to be shown all of the people that are in Gehenom because of them. Because of them. Why? He was your next door neighbor. He was your colleague. He was your brother. He was your sister. He was your whatever he was. He was your father. And you never even did anything. One time you sent him a video. And he said, this rabbi is scary. I don't want to hear scary rabbis. Don't send me this stuff anymore. And you actually listen to this guy. He doesn't know that it's a cure. He doesn't know that this is the way to do Kiruv. No, it's too scary. It's too scary. It's too scary. So we're going to finish with this. The Torah tells us a lot of things. It tells us how to do tshuva. It tells us who our Avot HaKadoshim were. It tells us who Hashem is. It tells us a lot of things. Now, last week, it told us a little bit about Avraham Avinu. Now, no one will disagree that Avraham Avinu is Kodesh Kodashim. Even the Christians and the Muslims appreciate Avraham Avinu. Everybody appreciates Avraham. No one in the world says, Avraham, he could have done a better job. No one says that. Avraham, Kodesh Kodashim. Now let's see what Avraham Avinu, why is he such a big deal? The Zohar Kadosh says in Parashat Lech Lecha, in Daf Pei, Amud Bet, ואברהם ועובדים תווים בתשובה באורייתא בקולה. He says, והצדיק, why does tzaddik Avraham has so much zchuyot and so many maasim tovim? Because of his tshuva and his Torah and all the things that he fulfilled. What did he fulfill? Zohar says, what did he fulfill? So, okay, so he learned Torah. A lot of people learn Torah. He says, מזדרז ללכת אל אלו הרשעים להחזירם בתשובה על עוונותיהם. He says Avraham was in a hurry to go chase after the Reshaim to help them do tshuva on their sins. That's why he's such a tzaddik. That's why Hashem loved him so much. Yeah, but a lot of people help people do tshuva. What makes Avraham special? שרודף אחריהם ומודיע להם הדין של העולם העליון ועונשי הגיהנום. Because he chases after them and he tells them what is the deen, what is the judgment in the next world, and all of the details of what happens in Gehinnom. That's what makes Avraham Avinu the best Kiruv Rabbi in history. The biggest Mezakeh Rabim in history. No one in the world ever did like him. Why? The Mishnah in Pirkei Avot says, he was so good, he got the merits of all 10 generations between Noach and him. Because anyone that did tshuva, good for them. Anyone like Eliezer did tshuva, good for him. But anyone who didn't do tshuva, millions of people didn't do tshuva. They did in the beginning, then they fell off. Avraham Avinu got all of their Olam Haba. All of their Olam Haba he got. Why? Because they have Olam Haba. But their ticket doesn't work if they don't do mitzvot. So who gets it? The Kiruv Rabbi that actually helped them. And they don't want to listen. He told them, listen, Shabbat is this. You don't want to listen? Okay, I get your Olam Haba. I benefit anyway. You, my friends, you go to your friends. You go to your partners. You go to somebody. You tell them about Torah. You give them a shiur. You send them a text message. You invite them to a shiur. Whether they like it or not is not your business. Why? You tell them the truth. Their neshama will know it's the truth. Whether they follow or not is their business. But you win anyway. You win anyway. Why? Because you did what Avraham Avinu did. You do what Avraham Avinu did. Avraham Avinu was the best of the best. Why? Because he chased after people. He went out of his way. Not just sending a WhatsApp message one time, hoping for the best. You know, some people, they send a blast message to 150 people, hoping that's enough. No, my friend. Sometimes you got to make a phone call. Sometimes you got to show up in their house. You have to show some effort like Avraham Avinu. Chase after people. Come home an extra half hour early from work on the day of the shiur so you can help a few people come to the shiur. Don't just send a mass text message, whoever comes, comes. And Shabbat, say, oh yeah, these are all the people that didn't come. Here in Gehinnom, let me show you the details. And you'd have to see all these people that you were friends with suffer. You're gonna, that's Gehinnom already, watching them. You have to do something. You got to do a little more than just sending a blast text message hoping for the best. Because Rabotai Karim, Avraham Avinu היה מוכיח אותם ומחזיר אותם בתשובה אל הקדוש ברוך הוא. He helped people do tshuva by simply telling them the details, telling them what happens if you don't do it. You don't necessarily need to start the conversation with the details. You don't even need to say it yourself. But you have to try to get the truth to these people. Let them know that if they continue making fun of rabbis, they continue making fun of Hashem, they continue violating Hashem's mitzvot, only bad will follow in this world and the next. We don't want them to have bad. We want them to have good. We don't want them to be part of the Erev Rav that gets destroyed. We want them to be part of Am Yisrael that goes to Allah Haba and benefits and is celebrating and so on. We want all of Klal Yisrael to do tshuva. But unfortunately, Rabotai Karim, there's only one version of tshuva. There's only one version of tshuva. There's only one Torah. There's no two sides to tshuva. It's either you do it or you don't. You keep Shabbat or you don't keep Shabbat. You keep Tarat Mishpacha or you don't keep Tarat Mishpacha. You watch your eyes, you don't watch your eyes. You watch your speech, you don't watch your speech. There's no half tshuva. You're either going to do what Hashem says or not. You're going to try your best or not. But if you see that your surroundings are a bunch of wicked people, run away. Find a different place. Don't be friends with them. Protect yourself. Don't fall because everybody else is a loser. Get yourself out of the hole. Protect yourself. You could try to help them, but from a distance. This, Rabotai Kareem, is what made Avraham Avinu so special. This is what can make each one of us special. To go out of our way and be a little Eliyahu HaNavi of this generation before it's too late. Because once Eliyahu HaNavi Mamash shows up and says, okay, Mashiach is here, that's it. There's no more tshuva. There's no more nothing. Everything is finished. The clock is up. And anyone that didn't do enough is going to regret that day. They're not going to be happy. Why? Because they're going to know their brother, their sister, their cousin, their uncle, their this one, their best friend from childhood, all these people, they didn't try. It's not that they tried and failed. If they tried and failed, there's nothing to feel bad about. You tried and failed, they didn't want to do it. It's not your fault anymore. But there's a bunch of people you didn't try. Why? You didn't want to offend them. You didn't want to turn them off. You didn't want to do a lot of things, even though HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself says that's the only way to help them do tshuva. In this generation of chutzpanim, the only thing that works is by telling people there's schar and there's onesh. There's reward, there's punishment. The reward is endless. The punishment is also endless. Be'ezrat Hashem, this helps every single one of us do even more tshuva. Get prepared for Eliyahu HaNavi by becoming a small little version of him, by publicizing the Torah and helping Am Yisrael come back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. B'me'ara be'amenu. Amen.